What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Correct Wing Weekly, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. For a couple more. We're changing the time in a couple weeks. What's up, everybody? Got some lurkers in there in the live chat. Hope all is well on Correct Wing Weekly. Almost called it by its own name, its old name, excuse me, which was this side of the internet. Now it's Correct Wing Weekly, week number 12. Thank you so much to Let's Be Frank for having me on his platform every week at this glorious time. Got some announcements today about changing of show times. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to say a nice hello to all of you. My name is Stephen Ignoramus on Twitter, Ignoramus Media on YouTube, and if you would kindly follow my Odyssey, that would just be fine and dandy by me. Got a great show planned out for you. We're talking about the COVID narrative collapsing. Frank is in the chat right now, adding my Odyssey. So if you get over there, I'm so close to 200 subscribers. I'm so close to 200. It's hot in here. It's like a summer day here in Eastern Tennessee. Got to turn on the air conditioning so I can be mobile, agile, and hostile. You know what I mean? Who's in the live chat? What's up? Broken Prophet, Jeffree Star, Aimless Gamer, Reflections on Liberty, and Briar Payne. First one here. That's right. We'll clap for you, folks. Clap for Briar Payne for being first here. Yes, I am Gringo Frank, non-Frank, bargain bin Frank, less than popular Frank. Getting ready to deliver you correct wing news, right wing news from a correct wing perspective. Is that a good tagline? I think it's nice. Talking about the COVID narrative collapsing, we have, as always, a segment on the Democrats, a segment on the Republicans, and some funny stuff and things like that. Like I said earlier, there's an announcement starting on the 24th. Listen to me, Smalls. Hear me clearly. Starting on the 24th, we're switching the day and time of the show to Monday. Well, the time's going to be the same. Sorry. So we're doing this show today, obviously. Next week, 5 p.m. on Wednesday, and then the Monday after that is going to become a Monday show. Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on these two channels. The replays only go over to the Last American Pubcast. Right now we're streaming on the Last American Pubcast as well as Let's Be Frank, but we delete the stuff on Let's Be Frank, and we We leave it up on the pubcast for your viewing pleasure. I'm informed that Frank got like 4,000 or 5,000 new subscribers over the last couple days, so that's amazing. Love it. Frank's my boy, man. Frank is such a good guy. I'm not sure if any of you guys have met him in real life before. I mean, when I did camera work for Frank in D.C. once, and he did get recognized. I mean, he's also an imposing presence. But Frank is such a good guy. We talked on the phone today and yesterday, and I play his prayer streams 9 a.m. on Mondays. But yeah, it just he's just one of the real ones, man. One of the real ones. So yeah, let's get into the major stuff. So usually what we do over here is we get into the main theme of the day, and then we do our Democrat and Republican news, and maybe we'll close out with something. We usually by that, somewhere near the end of the class, I like to make my case for make a case for Christian nationalism, which I am one of those people. But let's go over to this, and I'll show you what we're talking about. So, look, one of the things, me and Frank talked on the phone today, and one of the things we talked about is that it's like, 2020, 2020 and 2021, the rules were just different as far as what can be on YouTube and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to just be very careful today and report on the news, wink and nod. But let's just say, for me, the COVID narrative collapsed. Well, there's a certain, I see, it's like so hard to even say, because here's the deal. I stream 11 a.m. Eastern time every weekday on my channel. And I say whatever I want because we simply do not upload to YouTube. We stream on YouTube, but when it's done, we pull it off YouTube and we upload to Odyssey, because on Odyssey, you don't get banned for stuff. So it's just like, there's a thing, imagine a situation. Imagine a situation where there was a worldwide pandemic. And then all of a sudden, a certain president fast-tracked a certain thing to be distributed to the public. Imagine, if you will. But yeah, let's just read it. But yeah, I mean, I've been hip to this stuff almost since day one. I mean, I was a little bit weird. I was a little bit a little bit normie on this stuff for about the first 30 days. Then I did some reading, read a couple books, looked at who was saying what, and I've been off the train of this subject. I mean, if you look at the subject of the program today, I've been off the mainstream train, been a hardliner on every single issue, opposing every single issue since day one. But now it's gone mainstream in the last 3 or 4 months with a lot of this stuff just being complete garbage bunk. So I probably can get through this show without using specifics. You guys get what I mean. It's been something other than it is since the start. And I don't, it's like, Frank told me to use my best discretion, and I am. I don't even know what gets you popped anymore. I don't know if someone's gotten popped in a while, but this is mainstream news now. During a COVID hearing, Pfizer director finally admits the jabby stabby was never tested on preventing transmission. What comes as a surprise to actually absolutely no one, not the Bee's words, by the way. And by the way, YouTube, not the Bee as a YouTube channel, okay? This is their words. During a hearing at the European Parliament, Janine Small, Pfizer's president of international developed markets, admitted that no, the COVID jabby stabby was never used during trials to see if it prevented human-to-human transmission. It's news to some people. If you're on the internet and this is news to you, I don't even know what to say. I don't know. Maybe you were a liberal 6 months ago. There's this one guy we'll cover in a second where he apologized for advocating it for other people. But it says the good stuff starts halfway through.
If you don't get vaccinated, you're...
So yeah, I mean, again, I saw this clip on another show on YouTube yesterday. So
antisocial. This is what the Dutch Prime Minister and Health Minister...
So this is a person that opposes the Dutch Prime Minister.
...told us. You don't get vaccinated just for yourself, but also for others. You do it for all of society. That's what I said. Today, this turned out to be complete nonsense. In a COVID hearing in the European Parliament, one of the Pfizer directors just admitted to me, at the time of introduction, the vaccine had never been tested on stopping the transmission of the virus. This removes the entire legal basis for the COVID passport. The COVID passport that led to massive institutional discrimination as people lost access to essential parts of society. I find this to be shocking. even criminal. Please watch the video until the end.
Voor u, mevrouw Small, heb ik de volgende vraag waar ik een duidelijk antwoord op
I know there's some people that are just listening or whatever, so let me back it up and I'll do the translation. You know, I have one of those earpieces. I'm one of those earpieces in, and Frank is just whispering in my ear. That's how we do this stream.
Watch the video until the end.
Voor u, mevrouw Small.
But to you, Miss Small, I have the following short question, to which I would like to receive a clear response. I'll speak in English so there are no misunderstandings. Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping...
The Pfizer COVID vaccine...
Well, he's speaking English. Hey, guys, he's speaking in English so there's no misunderstanding.
Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping immunisation before it's entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of science to really understand what is taking place in the market.
This is scandal.
Look, okay. It's all about elections, guys. Listen, I'm not your big political... I mean, I do a politics show, obviously, and I think that some things in the mainstream matter more than others. I think a lot of things in the mainstream don't matter at all. I think a lot of things that are condemned by the mainstream matter deeply. But look at this. The oil is being released in November, right before the election. This is happening right before the election. So these liberals can have, I don't know if the right word is plausible deniability. See, we didn't know. And now it's all this. Many of the things happening in the last month or so. Well, you guys remember in 2016, 2020, the amount of drama that happens in the month leading up to a primary or even a general election. This is all, and the smugness of this lady. We had to act, did you? Did you have to? This is one of my criticisms of Trump. The other day, he said, I had to close the greatest economy in the world or something like that. No, that was from the 2020 debates. And that wasn't the other day. That was just a clip I watched. No, you didn't, Trump. You did not have to do anything. You're the commander-in-chief. You didn't have to do anything. No one had to do. I mean, look, choices were made. You could say that things should have been done or weren't done, but no one had to do anything in power. They didn't have to shut down. They didn't have to print the most money in human history. It was a flaw. And I'm a hardcore Trump guy. All right, I'm ride or die MAGA. One of the episodes of Correct Wing Weekly from about a month ago was ride or die MAGA. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with those in the commentary sphere and those in the, dare I say, intellectual class. I can't even believe I just said that about myself. But in a way, the commentary sphere is part of that. We have to criticize the bad things and praise the good things and still back who we should back. I back Trump all day, but one of the biggest flaws on him was the entire COVID stuff. And now they slow roll out this stuff every month and a half, and the world just keeps on marching, and guess what? They're going to do it again. I don't know how many years, I don't know when it's going to be, but they're going to do it again. And we have to be ready. I wasn't ready this go-around. I was pretty blue-pilled at the time. Okay, it is what it is. It took me a month to really wake up to it, and even then I wasn't in fighting mode, okay? Now I am, and so should you be. They're going to do it again. They're going to have another most real, most fair election of all time. They're going to, if you know what I mean, they're going to do stuff again. And if you want to watch my show, I can speak more candidly on the matter. Frank is in the chat right now. He's telling you that I stream 11 a.m. in the one true time zone, Eastern time, every weekday. I know a lot of you got jobs and stuff like that. But this is crazy. It's about the election. The Russia-Ukraine stuff is about the election. Well, they use stuff for the election. I'm not saying that like the whole war itself is about it, but the timing of stuff. Look what happens. Look, I've never been a QAnon guy, but isn't that one of the QAnon posts? It will happen when the weather changes. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It'll happen when the weather changes. When the weather gets cold. Isn't that like one of the original Q posts or whatever? It'll happen when the when the weather cools. Am I right about that? So yeah, their narratives but like I fear what my take is that it's not going to make it. All these people, not all, but a lot of these people that are just like scam them, whatever. They're going to get got again. A non-zero amount of the people talking about this being crazy right now are going to get got again. So it's a tragedy. It's one of the sickest, saddest things. Look into the stuff that opposes their narrative. That's what I'll say. The VAERS, what masks are, what masks do, who doctors are, who they are making doctors, what things are allowed, what prescriptions are allowed and not. It's just crazy, dude. It's just crazy. So this guy says, so James Smith, what's your deal, James? He apologized. Sunday Times bestseller, the James Smith podcast. So this is his tweet. It turns out, quote, get vaccinated to save other people was a farce. I think I owe a lot of people an apology. I genuinely thought that I could trust the experts. I'm very disappointed to have been hoodwinked by the propaganda of 2020. Honorable. But a lot of people aren't forgiving him. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to talk to this fella. Where are you at? Should I slide in his DMs, as they say? I bet. He's got an auto DM thing. I'll hit him up. I try to say goodbye and I choked. Try to walk away and I stumbled. I'm hopped up on coffee right now, guys. I'm flowing. It's tough to admit it. I agree. It's tough. A lot of people are like, apology not accepted. But yeah, libs can hear reason. It's a lot of conservatives too. I mean, it's not as many conservatives. It's not as many right-wingers. But most of the conservatives that can't hear reason are actually just liberals. It's crazy. That's crazy. Yep, never have to admit you're wrong. Yeah, so this is honorable. This is cool. I respect it. I mean, I wonder if he means it. He seems like he's part of the machine. If he's a, bestseller or whatever. James, never heard of the guy before. He's like a libertarian. Bookings and events. Yeah. Does jiu-jitsu. That's based. There needs to be criminal punishment, though, man. Like, I don't know. Getting really red-pilled these days on the private and public sector, how they're kind of just the same. The only difference is that on one of them, they can throw you in a box, and the other they can't. And in the private sector, they have the power to get people to throw you in a box. But there needs to be criminal, and I don't think there's going to be any criminal charges. I don't think Fauci, anything's going to happen to him. I just don't think, just same way as I don't think Hillary Clinton's going to get locked up. I don't think like Bill Gates is going to be in chains. That's not the way the elite work. Wait, did I use it improperly? No, you wouldn't slide in a dude's DM. It's like the slip and slide. I go this. I'm like, yo, James. Like, yo, James, mind if I slide in your DMs? He's like, I don't think that's what that means. I don't think that's what that means, right? Oopsie. So,
do the benefits of this vaccine outweigh the risks? I didn't see the benefits.
Dr. Paul Offit is a voting member of an FDA panel that approves vaccines. Again, this stuff's mainstream at this point. So again, you know how many people lost their channels and their okay, livelihood, the economy stuff is not what I mean, but I mean online creators, all those doctors, all these doctors, so many YouTubers, so many people lost their entire commentary, intellectual career because of this, man.
We really need much better data, I think, before we move forward on this. And I can only hope that it's coming, because I feel very strongly about my no vote there. In fact, the only reason I voted no was because hell no was not a choice. And it just surprised me that we were willing to go forward with this with such scant evidence of benefit. I think that the phrase that I used was uncomfortably scant. So you just sort of felt like the fix was in a little bit here. Maybe that's not the right phrase, but it was something that they wanted. And I felt like we were being led here, and with a critical lack of information. Right now, they're saying that we should trust mouse data, and I don't think that should ever be true. I don't think you should ever ask tens of millions of people to get a vaccine based on mouse data.
And there's no public data on that yet. What's more, for these fall booster shots, the FDA is not consulting with Dr. Offit.
This is a good life lesson. It's good with news, but it's also good in life. Be very afraid, or just be very wary of when people are saying you have to act now. Most of the times when someone, if you feel like you have to act now, you should, don't involve other people in that, is my point. But what's really going on with the powers that be, and also this just works in life, when someone is like, you have to act now, you have to act now, you have to act now, there's a reason for that. They could be right, okay? But most of the time, they want something from you. It's part of being a salesman, which I suck at. But you try to induce some form of scarcity. You try to induce some form of, it has to be now. Sale going away soon. You know, there's a furniture store by me that's been closing for about 5 years. Lesson in there. It's been closing. It's got like closing soon. It's been that way for about 5 years. I mean, I've only been in Eastern Tennessee for a year and a half, but I've asked some people about it, and they're like, dude, all they do is they switch out the sign. Just basic sales, right? So when you got everyone, like we heard it earlier with that lady, she's like, of course we didn't try it. Of course we didn't do that testing. We had to act now. And it's like, it's just basic human scarcity. It's ruling through fear, man.
Offit and the rest of the Independent Vaccine Advisory Committee.
The reason to consult us is because when you do that, when you consult us, that's open to the public. So we'll get then all the data from the two companies, which then is available to the public. By not doing that, by simply saying we don't need that advice, what they're also saying is we're not going to be transparent about what we have to the American public. And I just think that's not fair. If you clearly have evidence of benefit, great. But if you clearly don't have evidence of benefit, then say no.
Yeah, this is just such a tragedy. It was the last 2 years in this subject were just such a tragedy, man. It was so sad, man. Hip-hopping compilations. Yo, hip-hopping compilations never needed to the vaccine years on end. Oh, not the type of hip-hop.
2021.
Yeah, look at these. Look at these snakes, dude. Look at just these snakes. It's that kind of hip-hopping.
During 2021, we should be able to manufacture a lot of vaccines, and that vaccine, key goal is to stop the transmission, to get the immunity levels up so that you get almost no infection going on whatsoever. Everyone who takes the vaccine is not just protecting themselves, but reducing their transmission to other people and allowing society to get back to normal?
We can kind of almost see the end. We're vaccinating so very fast. Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick.
Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else. It cannot use a vaccinated person.
Oh, it's sentient, huh? Yeah, it's like it cannot think in that way. These people are so anti-God, man. They're really enemies of the entire human race. But the person or the entity that opposes God the most is the enemy of the entire human race. To be the enemies of God is to be the enemy of the entire human race. He created us. He loves us. We're made in his image. But look at the way they replace, they refer, what do they worship is what I'm saying. We are made to worship, okay? Human beings cannot get through a day without worshiping. Worship means to spend time with which you give utmost worth. And you could say that whatever you spend the most time with is the thing you worship. They call viruses sentient, say they have thoughts. They say the science is the thing that you should trust more than anything, when it's the Lord that we should trust more than anything. But the science, feelings, that's a big one too. That's why they're so big on offending and hurtful, harmful, rather than true, rather than good, rather than beautiful, rather than, they don't even say the name of Jesus Christ. I mean, and when they do, it's in servitude to those things that they actually worship. They never will worship Christ or follow Christ for the sake of following Christ. They bastardize the name of Jesus Christ for their feelings, satanic culture. And they'll take anything and treat it as God other than the one true God.
As a host to go get more people. That means the vaccines will get us to the end of this.
You hear that? The sickness will obey us. Right, exactly, Life to the Max. It says the sickness will obey us.
Essentially, vaccines block you from getting and giving the virus.
Fully vaccinated people are at a very, very low risk of getting COVID-19. Therefore, if you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask.
When people are vaccinated, they can feel safe that they are not going to get infected. We have all the vaccines we need. We just need our people to take it. A, for their own protection, for the protection of their family, but also to break the chain of transmission. You want to be a dead end.
Anyone know the name of this song?
To the virus. So when the virus gets to you, you stop it. You don't allow it to use you as the stepping stone to the next person. I think given the country as a whole, the fact that we have now about 50% of adults fully vaccinated and about 62% of adults having received at least one dose, as a nation, I feel fairly certain you're not going to see the kind of surges we've seen in the past.
If you're vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized, you're not going to be in an ICU unit, and you're not going to die. You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
People are traitors, man. Crazy. Lying psychopath treason, dude. Anyway, I'm not going to even read this article. We might be getting into hairy territory or whatever, but it says that they uncover the administration plan to push the vaccine. But same with Trump, though, man. Trump needs to back down, man. You know, I always thought that Trump's worst moments was when he apologized, but he never apologized to his base. His base, this is maybe the first issue. This is maybe the only issue that Trump, you know, he got booed, man. He got booed at a MAGA rally, man. You know how big of a deal that is? Trump got booed at his own rally over the jabby stabby. I would take an apology. I think that would be classy if Trump apologized. If Trump recanted and apologized. That would be a beautiful moment. You know how much respect he would gain from his people, man? So what's your major malfunction? I've been looking at your chats, stuff like that. Tate Face NYC Knife MAGA gang. Trump has no issues, don't play stupid. What do you mean? Like he doesn't represent any issues, or he has no flaws? Like what does that mean? Trump got respect, you heard. Well, I do like Trump. But you writing a hip hop song over there? You writing a rap song over there? Show you a rap song. You know, I'm a professional rapper. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you were here when I said it earlier, but I am 100% ride or die MAGA. But Trump's wrong on this one. Are you saying you don't disagree with Trump on anything? Trump should apologize for the COVID stuff. He should. Because apologizing to your enemies is not the same thing as they wouldn't know what to do with it if he apologized for because they would hate him even more if he did that. His enemies would hate him even more, which is kind of good. I think that would be a good look, in my opinion. I think that would be a good look if Trump walked back his stance on some of this stuff. Well, okay. Donnie says President Trump hasn't said anything hasn't said anything about the jabby stabbies lately after he found out they were bad, but he hasn't said they're bad. He should say that. How do you know he found out they were bad? He hasn't said anything about that. I saw him talk. He was on Hannity or talking to Hannity less than a month ago, saying there was one of the greatest things that ever happened in history. So what evidence do you have that your statement's even true, you know? Yeah, I think it'd be a good look. This happened on Twitter over the last couple days. Florida Surgeon General skewers Twitter for removing his tweet warning of heart risk associated with the jabbity jab. Again, I'm just reading the news here. I have my own takes and stuff like that, but this should be above board. I mean, this is on not the B. This is mainstream at this point. People freaked out over this. Florida's Surgeon General is warning that COVID vaccines present an abnormally high risk of heart-related deaths in young men. Florida's Surgeon General. Seemed brave man to do that. So what do you mean by hit jobs? Trump is my boy, New York at heart. I don't play Trump hit jobs. Did you not hear me say that I'm ride or die MAGA? There's nothing that Trump could do that would make me withhold my support. What I'm saying is right and wrong is wrong. And criticizing someone does not mean you're doing a hit job. What's your take on the COVID stuff? How about that? Yeah, what's your take? That Trump is right all the time? Are you a robot? Like, dude, I agree with that. Horatius. Yeah. It kind of cost him re-election in the end. If he said it was BS, then maybe he could have stopped something, but maybe not. The Republicans went along and sleuthed it too. Yep. How does he say they're bad when he pushed those criminals to get it out? I mean, courageously. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's kind of caught in a trap because he pushed for it so hard. It's a very good point, Waffle Salter. I don't know how he does it, but you swallow hard, you swallow your pride, you stick your chest out, and you say, I'm sorry, like a man. That's the way, very difficultly say, how does he do it? He does it righteously. He does it with a degree of difficulty, and he gets to stand up straight like a man at the end of the day. With it, but sleuth. Oh, yeah, okay. Yep. You swallow hard, you walk out on the stage, and you say, I love the people, and I was wrong. That's what you do. So what's your point, though, Tatface? Like, what do you disagree with Trump on? Okay, let me look at this. As president, you have to talk to everyone. It's up to the people to take it. Trump doesn't need to say sorry for what MAGA is unstoppable. Okay. Anyway. All right, let's get into the we need a palate cleanser, yo. We need a palate cleanser. So, you know, they've been saying that Trump has reverse aged, but I didn't know it was like this. This is from the 2020 presidentials.
Smart. So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word. Oh, give me a... Because you know what?
Don't ever use the word smart was one of the great moments.
In your class, don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word. Oh, give me a break. Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing. Let's have this debate. And if you would have had... Let me just... If you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country.
Oh, that's where I heard it. Yeah, you had
by
to.
By the way, now it's being built again. Smart. So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word. Oh, give me a break. Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you.
With the helium and the baby face is so funny.
Smart with me. Don't ever almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word. Oh, give me a break. Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing. Let's have this debate. And if you would have had... Let me just... If you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
I miss Trump so much. No one talked like that guy. No one spoke like that guy. I just miss the way he said every word. When I went to this, I mean, I talk about this almost every week. I went to a rally in April. He's like, Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg. Like, just the way no one talks like, no one looks like Trump. No one talks like Trump. Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg. Bad guy. He's really bad hombre. Remember we said, didn't he say bad hombres at some point? He had so many isms, man. The nicknames, Low Energy Jeb, Lion Ted, Little Marco. He has so many, like Trump. That's why Trumpian makes so much sense. I said this the other day on my stream. I think that Kanye West is Trumpian in a way. He looks unique. He talks unique. No one's like Trump, dude. Trump is so funny. I mean, he's basically doing stand-up comedy up there during a rally. It's so funny, dude. No one look, the hair, the lips, the look, the way he walks, the way he pronounces stuff. He's just one of a kind, man. I miss Trump so much, man. China. That's right. His press conferences, wrong. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Zuckerberg. Wow, my voice cracked. You think I don't know. Do you guys think they're going to run Biden? I think they're gonna, dude. I think they're gonna. But Trump would just kill it, dude. And the way, you remember when he stood behind Hillary Clinton at the debate? Like, they had that debate. It was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen, where it's like the round table and they had like the freedom to walk around and stuff like that. And she went over to the other side and Trump just like stands 3 feet behind her, like with his arms. Was it in front of him or behind him? I don't remember. But he just towers and she's over. He like just stands there. I was like, what is bro doing, man? Yeah, you are fake news. The "you are fake news" was a great moment. The S-hole countries. We are calling for a total ban of Muslim countries. I mean, he would just trigger them. You'd be in jail. There was so many moments, yo. It was just amazing, yo. All right, let's go through some of this Republican. So we have a segment. I got to hurry up here, kind of. A segment on Republican news, a segment on Democrat news. So let's get into it. Obama FBI offered Christopher Steele $1 million if he could provide evidence to corroborate the Steele dossier against Trump. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here except for maybe more evidence that the FBI is totally corrupted beyond your imagination. Shortly before the 2016 election, the FBI offered retired British spy Christopher Steele up to $1 million to provide the explosive allegations in his dossier against Donald Trump. A senior FBI analyst has testified. Only Rosie O'Donnell. So recap, it says Steele dossier makes wild accusations. FBI offers $1 million to corroborate claims. Steele declines. FBI lies to the FISA court that the accusations are true. No one at the FBI is held accountable for the lies. It's so corrupt, man. We're one of the most corrupt societies ever. It's insane, man. But I mean, it's a lot of this stuff is just for normies because we've known this stuff from the start. Almost it's why it's bittersweet, I guess, or I'm conflicted or ambivalent, I guess is the word. Because when the normies get a hold of this stuff, it's just like I don't care about the I told you so. I am telling you I told you so, but what I care about is Trump being in office. Okay, I don't care. I could just never say I would rather 0 I told you so's and Trump be in office than all the I told you so's and a career out of it and Trump not being in office. So that's what I care about. But it's just kind of sad because, like, people just aren't, and not everybody has the time to live stream 3 hours a day. And just like, I basically have melded with the internet at this point. So it's sad, but you got to stay in the fight, so I'm conflicted about the whole thing. It's good. It's good. Exposing corruption is good, all right? But when are people going to not even wake up? It's not about waking up. It's about being ahead rather than behind. When are they going to be out in front of the pitch? They keep missing, especially conservatives. I mean, this is called Correct Wing Weekly. They're always behind, okay? Sometimes decades behind. In 40 years after we've been completely overrun by immigration, conservatives are going to be like, we need a total moratorium on immigration. The based ones were calling for that in the 90s, man. And I'm calling for it today. I want 0 immigration. Not that we're even talking about this right now, but yes, the FBI should be disbanded. Great, Jesse Kelly. And Jesse Kelly is better than a lot, way more than most. The only acceptable default position at this point, this is Jesse Kelly talking now, is that the FBI can no longer exist in any form. A more extreme but probably necessary position is that many at the FBI should be in prison for the rest of their lives. That's good. It's good punditry. Says every single social media company was started by the CIA. Interesting.
Do you have any people
House Intelligence Committee hearing 1975
being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal? We do have people who submit pieces to American journals. Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks? This, I think, gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into an executive.
Yeah, that's
Do you have any?
Interesting. So from Vincent James.
So I know that this is going to sound.
Yeah, I can't play this, but I'll have Frank link it in the chat. Big fan of Vincent James, one of the best in the business. I just can't play it on this channel. Thank you, Frank. Dude, the whole thing's a scam, man. It's so crazy being red-pilled on this stuff. It's so crazy, man. I wasn't even this hip to it a year ago. Well, it all changed for me after January 6th. Then I started it was like my livelihood depended on it, or at least, at the time I survived for about 3 or 4 months, went through the whole legal battle thing, and now in this year I've just learned so much, and I just thought it's really about, a lot of it's about philosophy, where I've just gotten better with logic. Like, if this, then what? And I have not been wrong often in the last 6 months about my analysis on stuff. So this is Tucker Carlson. Can I get just the interview? Tony Bobulinski. Financial advisor came forward in October 2020 to authenticate the content found in Hunter's laptop, saying he was in business with the Bidens. The fact pattern is that the FBI alone altered history in that election. Their words. Now, we're not going to watch this. Look up the Tony Bobulinski interview on Tucker. Alan Dershowitz says that every reputable attorney that he's spoken with has told him that their firms won't let them go anywhere near Trump. A lawyer told Dershowitz, I'm not going near this with a 10-foot pole. I mean, they might. I think they probably will indict Trump, but he should still run, man. This is a straight-up political war, man. Democrat officials in Colorado incorrectly sent out 30,000 voter registration postcards to non-citizens, and I'm sure it was just an honest mistake. They put out a Time article. That's what Slap is referencing. Slap says it is like there's some sort of cabal. Yeah, it's literally a Time magazine article. Like this, what is it? The secret cabal of, NGOs. It's like a list of organizations that, save democracy or something like that. It's insane, man. Ooh, yep, just normal incompetence, right? Yeah, they said it was not on purpose. It's what it is. It's what it is. So it says, introducing Birdwatch. Twitter is rolling out its Birdwatch collaborative fact-checking program ahead of the U.S. midterm elections. Helpful notes added to tweets by eligible users will be visible to everyone in the U.S. starting today. Aren't you happy? Aren't you glad that your overlords are telling you what disinformation is? And by overlords, I mean me. I determine what is truth. And the truth is, if you don't enjoy my show, you're going to the gulag. You're splitting rocks. You're going to be, I talk about this a lot, but I don't know how to pronounce it. A palanquin? Palanquin? Yes. If you don't enjoy my stream, listen to me, Smalls. Yeah, if you don't enjoy my stream, you're going to be one of the people manning my palanquin, which is like, what is it, a raised throne? Yes. It's or a litter. That's also a name for it, a litter. Yeah, if you don't like my show, this is you. Them's the rules. I was going to say I don't make the rules, but I do. That's what truth is. If you don't do this job for me, you are guilty of even further misinformation. You will be manning my litter. And if you don't do that, if you refuse, you'll be manning my cat's litter. Them's the rules, guys. So, okay, are we going to talk about this big tent thing? Let's go to this study real fast. No, let me read it first. So this is a study. I was talking about this earlier on my stream. Really what's going on is at elite universities, at Ivy League universities, hear me out. Listen closely. Gays will outnumber Republicans. Is in 10 years, less than 10 years. I think it's already average. Well, they're 60 to 75% liberal, 10 to 15% conservatives. But what they found is that gays, people in the LGBT, will outnumber conservatives, I think, in the next 5 years or something like that. I'll I'll have Frank link the study. But I'm telling you, dude, it's so crazy, man. The institutional, that's why it's got to be now. It's got to be Trump. It's got to be now, period. Or just be a collapsitarian. Or just be an accelerationist, whatever. Okay? I'm not one. I think there's still fight to be had. But we have to do away with this big tent stuff, dude. Look at this. Okay. Look. To be the phrase Christian conservative is kind of redundant. To be a conservative is to have Christian values, okay? Another one that's weird is social conservative, okay? If you're not socially conservative, meaning biblical, you're not a conservative. Miss me with this socially liberal, fiscally conservative. That's not a conservative. That's either a libertarian or just a person that opposes God that's somewhat frugal. That's all it is. It's a person that's smart enough with their money, but doesn't like what God has to say about sex. To be socially conservative is to be a conservative. What are we trying to conserve? The traditional American nation and biblical values. It's not even the Constitution, y'all. It's not like civil rights. It's not human rights. It's not the Constitution. Some of those things that I just listed are good, but it's not what we're trying to conserve. What we're trying to conserve is traditional morals, the traditional family, the traditional American nation, and biblical values. Most of them centered around sex. All of them centered around sin. So, miss me with this Rob Smith, Lady MAGA, big tent, sinful trash, man. This anti-Christian trash, dude.
Reached out to people and I said, please send me videos. Why are you a Republican? I want to be
Scott Pressler, Rob Smith.
able to share with people a real representation of who we are.
My name is Sarah and I'm a Republican.
I'm a Republican.
Dude, Rob Smith is an open homosexual.
I am a Republican. I am Republican.
You're warning this one? Oh, okay. So there's something at the end? Huh. Thank you. I thought it was just a supercut. Thank you very much, Horatius. I'm glad I'm looking at the chat. Thank you very much. That was nice. Nice. Thank you, Waffle Salter, for this big super chat. Waffle says, Ignoramus Palanquin Fund, MAGA for life. I appreciate that. I really appreciate the super chat. Okay. I'll just say it right now. I don't like the Vast. I don't like the Daily Wire. I don't like Steven Crowder. I barely like the Blaze. The Blaze has gotten more based. Look at these people, man. The day after Kanye wore the White Lives Matter, Steven Crowder just gets his grift on, dude. Stop listening to these people, man. Stop listening to Steven Crowder. Stop listening to Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is not America first. Jordan Peterson is not America first. These people do not, the people that the right champions is probably the biggest problem in the commentary sphere. Who gives a crap about what you do in your bedroom? Well, if it's sinful, I care. I don't, because it's none of my damn business, so stop making it my business because I don't care. That doesn't work. I get what you're saying. On a certain level, in theory, that's true. But it matters because sin spreads itself. And we have to call wrong things wrong. I know you're not talking about me, what happens in my bedroom or whatever. I hope you're not. But we have to be resting at Christian values. They're making your business. They're not going to stop making your business. They can't stop making their business because they're calling evil good and good evil, and they're complicit if they get called on it. So that doesn't work. That live and let live thing does not work. It's proven itself to not work. What we have to do is oppose it. We have to oppose it. They're not going to stop. Said, I don't give a flying F what goes on below your belly button, so stop telling me. They're not. What if they don't, is my point. And I can guarantee they won't. They won't. What if they don't? They're not. They can't. They think it's good. They want to push it on the kids. They want your taxpayers to pay for it because it's their religion. So what now? What do? What do you do? I think that stance is not the right stance. It's not even like a stance. I can't control others' behavior. But the government does. That's what we have the government for. The government is the controller. In a certain way, they do. Like, they control taxes. That's your behavior. They control all kinds of behavior. If you can only try to control yourself, then you can't be in the business of politics. The business of politics is the business of control. People say you can't legislate morality. They do. All government legislates morality. And we have to sober up. We just have to sober up, grow up, and realize what the function of government is and just do it. They have taken advantage of the I don't care culture. We should deeply care. Yep, we should deeply, deeply care. So yeah, this grifting, no mainstream right-winger would ever have said White Lives Matter or had the merch. It's just a shame, dude. It says these scumbags would never be brave enough to do this on their own. Nope. Yeah, dude. The whole mainstream is just so bad. Probably the worst one is the Daily Wire. Where's Crowder at? He does his own thing, right? He's not at the Blaze anymore, right? Thank you for the follow, Mary Tasho, over there on Twitter. Follow me at Ignoramus. Please follow my Odyssey. We're looking for Odyssey people. Let's see if we can get me to 200 today, dog. Come on, Frank. Hook me up, Frank. We got 190 on Odyssey. Let's see if we get 10 more. We got 76 people in here. It'd be a darn shame if we didn't get me to 200 today. Thanks, Frank. Nice take from Erica. Shapiro's no bueno. Peterson is half-assed. Scott Pressler needs prayer. Yeah, there's just a whole lot of them. If they're not a Christian, dude, then they're not going to be on point. Steven Crowder is a Christian, but I think he's got ulterior motives. I mean, it's just the conservative grift is just so apparent, and people don't think it is because people like being told what they want to hear. Wisconsin's Democratic governor is paying social media influencers $2,000 per post to write flattering things about him ahead of the November election. Democrats pay for fake support online in Wisconsin, many such cases. It's one of those situations where, do you really think that the amount of times they've been caught are all the times they've done it? Is it the same? Let me hide that, sorry. Is it the same or more? Pretty sure to ask the question is to answer it. So this is pretty cool. I mean, look, I'll give credit where credit's due. I don't like the Daily Wire. Matt Walsh is at the Daily Wire, but Vanderbilt's child transgender clinic is pausing surgeries on minors after the Matt Walsh bombshell expose. He put out a decent, I rated it an 84 out of 100, this anti-apology, saying he's not going to apologize for anything, called them degenerates. Good. More of that, please. More of that, please.
Joe,
so also this inclusive populism, dude. I don't oppose this as much as I oppose Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire and stuff. But this multiracial working class populism and inclusive populism is also a dead end.
Joe, so the K-File, which is a guy that just deals with
Bannon and Joe Kent,
the lowest level.
Not a big fan of either of them.
Smears, and they really don't have much impact. And I think this is directly related because CNN and the Democrats are completely freaked out because they have a candidate. And let's just be blunt, okay? She's not up to speed and doesn't understand the fundamental issues of what's going on. By the way,
and again, it's not about opposing the left, man. It's about cleaning up the right. We could almost ignore the left.
Invite her to come on if she wants to come on and lay out her economic position.
It's about exposing people in the right wing that are actually part of the left wing. So in that way, it is about the left, but it's not about the apparent left. It's not about the supposed or the nominally left, if that's, am I using the right word there? It's about finding snakes. It's not even rhinos. It's fake Christians, it's fake conservatives, and it's leftists that are LARPing on the right.
Be a populist on the left. And, you know,
Also,
we have a lot of
populism is not good. I mean, this is where we're getting, you know, we get into the political theory weeds or whatever. That's why I'm not a populist either. I don't believe the people are going to make the right decision. The people do not make the right decision. We need strong elites.
time for populism on the left. We just want to hear what she has to say, because the other day with her note cards and kind of fumbling around, she didn't really put her best foot forward, let's say. So all of a sudden, after that happens, they got to drop the white nationalist label on Joe Kent. Joe, how outrageous is this attack on you? Someone that served your country.
It is outrageous to call him a white nationalist.
For so many combat tours. And let's be honest, you're a gold star father. Your husband, your wife gave her life in defense of her country in the Middle East. How outrageous do you find this attack from CNN?
It's quite outrageous, you know, but it's just par for the course if you're a Republican conservative, or if you just dissent from the, you know, really the current narrative that they want to push down people's throats. This is just showing that they're very, very threatened by my message. My message is one of inclusive populism. When you cut through all of the noise of the mainstream media, you show the
exclusive nationalism, inclusive populism. Exclusive nationalism is what
American people, these systems of power that are being used against them to scam them. It is a very inclusive message, and we want to bring people of every background into our movement, because our movement is just simply fighting for the sovereignty of the American citizen and the American people, and that is what they fear. That's why they're attacking me so heavily. And the funny thing is, these guys are supposed to be journalists. They're incredibly lazy. If they would just look at the primary race, I was attacked heavily by Nick Fuentes and Andrew Torba because of this message of inclusive populism.
You should have been.
They came after me. They sent hecklers to my town.
They should have.
They spent.
They were awesome for doing that. Inclusive populism. Get out of here, dude. I didn't even know he mentioned them at the end. Some Ron DeSantis stuff. This is pretty cool right here. Yeah, he got it. What, he got it fixed in 3 days. This was impressive. Ron DeSantis. I'm not a DeSantis guy. I'm a Trump guy. But this was impressive. I mean, that's really cool. Pine Island Bridge fixed in 3 days. Yo, let's go. How good is Publix? You ever had their sandwiches? I have, and that's what makes me part of the elite class. Only people that enjoy Publix sandwiches get to vote in my ideal society. If not, you're splitting rocks. Hervey says, Joe, quick, denounce whites. True. Boar's Head meat at Publix. Yep, Boar's Head meat is good. Yeah, I like the sandwiches. Looks like you get to vote, Loaded Wrench. In my society, you get to be in my cabinet. This is a political ad from Ron DeSantis about his wife. I believe has cancer.
I get asked all the time, who is Ron DeSantis? Well, he's the kid who grew up right here in Florida, working his tail off, paying his own way through school, then volunteering to serve in the Navy and deploying to Iraq. He's the man who I fell in love with from the moment we met. And he's the dad of 3 very rambunctious, energetic children. Mamie, our 2-year-old little comedian, Madison, our beautiful, sweet 5-year-old, and Mason, our 4-year-old athlete. But if you want to know who Ron DeSantis really is, when I was diagnosed with cancer and I was facing the battle for my life, he was the dad who took care of my children when I couldn't. He was there to pick me off of the ground when I literally could not stand. He was there to fight for me when I didn't have the strength to fight for myself. That is who Ron DeSantis is.
76 out of 100. It's okay. You know, it's heartwarming. You know, I'm not a big emotions guy. It's like, but certain people are. So, yeah, 76. Yeah, make sure Frank's in the chat telling you to follow the Last American Pubcast We're streaming on there right now, but the replays go solely over to there. So, couple 76, maybe 77. Yeah, the emotional stuff, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's definitely not in the 80s. So a couple moments from the Senate race. You got Ohio, and then you got Arizona. So J.D. Vance just put Representative Tim Ryan, who ran for. Remember when he ran for president? Was that 2020? The last couple elections have just been crap shows,
As
dude.
an exception.
Look, I've always believed.
No Publix for 500 miles. Yeah, it's basically a Southern thing. That's right. Well, if you're not able to access it, it's more about if you could, would you? No splitting rocks duty for you. I'll send you one. I'll send you one snail mail. You just have to eat it after it's expired.
As an exception.
Look, I've always believed in reasonable exceptions.
Dude, okay. Don't get me started on abortion, man. Like, you concede so much by being, quote, reasonable with baby murders. You concede so much. You know, her question is about, they skipped the question, but it was about this 10-year-old story, you know, this 10-year-old in Ohio that was, quote, forced to get an abortion. You concede so much when you concede the rape and incest.
An exception.
Look, I've always believed in reasonable exceptions. This is a misrepresentation of my view, but let's hear it from me, not from Congressman Ryan. I absolutely think the 10-year-old girl, the case that we've, of course, heard a lot about, an incredibly tragic situation. I mean, look, I've got a 9-year-old baby girl at home. I cannot imagine what that's like for the girl, for her family. God forbid something like that would happen. I have said repeatedly on the record that I think that girl should be able to get an abortion if you
ride and die MAGA, I would appreciate like some punctuation, like if you ride or die MAGA, why you think Trump might not run. When did I say that? Like, and I could be right, but let's play it out. Let's say I did say that. That's just a characterization of the situation. Like, if I said that Trump shouldn't run, then I wouldn't be ride or die MAGA. But saying that he won't run is just a prediction. But I didn't say that. So, like that's just not anything. I've never said Trump. I don't think Trump won't run. I said that he might get indicted, but he should still run. But I don't get it. Yeah, you don't get it. Back to COVID, just like the news goes back to. I have no idea what you're even talking about with the end of that. Yeah, I am ride or die MAGA, but like Trump should run. I think he's going to. But even if I thought he wasn't going to, then that's just called analysis.
And her family so choose to do so. But let's talk about that case. Because why was a 10-year-old girl raped in our community, raped in our state in the first place? The thing the media and Congressman Ryan, they talk about this all the time. The thing they never mentioned is that poor girl was raped by an illegal alien, somebody that should have never been in this state in the first place. You voted so many times against border wall funding, so many times for amnesty, Tim. If you had done your job, she would have never been raped in the first place. Do your job on border security. Don't lecture me about opinions I don't actually have.
Oh, you know the rapper meme where they're like, oh, thank you for the kind words, Justin Bell. That's all I can ask for. So I don't always agree with you, but I respect the way you can clearly articulate and debate a point. I appreciate that. Thanks. That's very kind. That's all you can ask for, right? Yeah, I mean, this thing where they're like reasonable. Oh, that's right. Frank also wants to tell you to follow Katie Zed's channel. Katie Zed is the lovely lady that makes the thumbnails for this show. She's my artistic director. Frank's in the chat telling you to subscribe to her channel. I will be on her channel on Sunday and Monday this coming week in the flesh. So follow Katie Zed. She does true crime. She's a heck of a gal. Sunday at 4, I believe. Katie, I'll be on Katie's show talking about January 6th. I'll be her true crime subject of the week. She made a good thumbnail for this one. Roped you guys in. It attracts all the people trying to seek justice with the COVID narrative. Thank you, Frank. I am not on Rumble, no. Because you pay, it costs money to live stream, no. Maybe I should be. I mean, but can you upload? I don't know. I'll look into it. I've been hearing so much about Rumble lately. I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm getting so much pressure, I guess so many questions about it that maybe I'll look into it. I do know that it's like $100 a month to live stream, so maybe I'll just upload. Whoa. What the? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing my show. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh no. Yo, oh my gosh. Yo, hold on. Oh my gosh. Sorry. It was on. Oh, that's cack, dude. What just happened was cack. I'm not gonna even say who that was. Oh, I love surprises. That was so funny. Blake Masters utterly destroyed Arizona Senator Mark Kelly in a debate last night. If that's the best you can do, I respectfully request that you resign.
I've been focused on the border since day one on this job. I'm down there all the time. I was on the phone this week just, with Mayor Nichols of Yuma, Sheriff Daniels of Cochise County, talking about what more we need for Border Patrol and immigration.
That, my friends, is called evasion.
We're working to raise Border Patrol pay by 18%. I've got legislation to do that. I've been focused on the border since day one.
Okay. To no great effect because we have a wide open southern border. So if that's the best you can do, I respectfully request you resign and let's get someone in the seat who will actually secure our border.
I've been focused on the border.
I respectfully ask that you resign. I like J.D. Vance. I like Blake Masters more. He at least named who's doing the crime. Yo, that was crazy what just happened. I'm not going to talk about it, but that was funny. That was freaking hilarious, dude. I'm still I got thrown off by that. Call it what it is, man. Call abortion what it is. Call the crime what it is. Call the powers that be what they are. Just so sick of this niceties. It's not even about being cruel or whatever. It's really about meaning and words and stuff like that. What's up, everybody? Got a fresh crowd coming in here. I believe Salty Cracker is on at 7 p.m. So I intentionally did this show before that. But remember, we are changing the time and day of the day of the show starting on the 24th. So check it out. We'll cover the Tulsi Gabbard leaving the Democratic Party in a second. So next week, normal time, 5 p.m. on Wednesday. The week after that, we're switching to Mondays at 5 p.m. So if you come here at that time, it's just going to be no one. It's going to be a blank channel. On Monday the 24th, we're switching to Mondays at 5 p.m., okay? Very important. What's also important is that we get me to 200 followers on Odyssey today. Frank, you're in the chat right now. Frank, tell them what to do. Sub to Stevens Odyssey. Thank you, Frank. Get me to 200 followers today on Odyssey. I stream every weekday at 11 a.m. I don't care if you're working. Quit your job. You outlasted COVID. Where's your priorities at? Quit your job and watch my daily show, 11 a.m. Eastern time on weekdays. Just quit. There's more important things to do. She's quitting. Look, Tulsi Gabbard is quitting the Democratic Party. You should follow suit, but with your job. Quit your job, watch my show, especially on Odyssey. Especially if you respect Frank. If you respect Frank, you'll do what he says. If you sub to Steven's Odyssey, all of your wildest dreams will come true. It's worth the shot. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just keep aggrandizing the whole thing. Like, you will win the lottery the next day. You will win the lottery. So Tulsi Gabbard left the Democratic Party. Guess what? You should still not support her. She's pro-baby murder. She's pro-gun control. She's not even an anti-interventionist. She still believes we should be waging a war on terror in the Middle East. Don't simp for her, guys. Guys, no simping. No simping, especially for Rogue from X-Men over here. No. Good. We need less Democrats. They should all be leaving. Doesn't mean we should do the big tent. No. Hold the line, fellas. No
I
simping.
can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that's under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers who are...
Good question. Live free or die trying. That's great. You don't have to quit your job. It's great news for you. Just watch my show. If you work nights, you don't have to quit your job. But if you do, make the right choice. We need bravery in these times. Quit your job. Watch my show, The Daily Ignoramus.
Driven by cowardly woke.
She's not even a rhino. She's not even a Republican. She's not joining the Republican Party. She's leaving the Democratic Party. She's worse than a rhino. She's just a leftist. She's a leftist that good Republicans and conservatives simp for. It's just not good. Don't support her. Don't do it.
Who divide us by racializing every issue and stoking anti-white racism, who actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms that are enshrined in our Constitution, who are hostile to people of faith and spirituality, who demonize the police but protect criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans, who believe in open borders, who weaponize the national security state to go after their political opponents, and above all, who are dragging us ever closer to nuclear war. Now, I believe in a government that's of the people, by the people, and for the people. Unfortunately, today's Democratic Party does not. Instead, it stands for a government that is of, by, and for.
Yo, you serious? Horatius says she launched a podcast right after this, dude.
For
wow.
The powerful elite. Now, I'm calling on my fellow...
Yeah, we need more people to bring up anti-white hatred. Yep. Much respect to her for bringing up anti-white hatred here. It's gone mainstream. That's very, very good. The anti-white stuff has gone straight up mainstream. I love it.
Comments.
Well, it's I love it and I don't. People being anti-white is mainstream, but also the awareness of it has gone mainstream.
Sends independent-minded Democrats to join me in leaving the Democratic Party. If you can no longer stomach the direction that...
This is good, by the way. Splintering the Democrats is good.
The so-called woke Democratic Party ideologues are taking our country, and I invite you to join me.
Join me. The great spirit came down. she's like from Honolulu. She's Hawaiian. So, but the voice is apt. The great spirit came across the plains and informed me that the Democratic Party are not serving the interests of the people. I offer you metric tons of wampum. The great spirit of the herd of bison spoke to me in a dream. I've been working on my Squanto voice. The great spirit of the buffalo came across the plains of the Cherokee Nation. Well, should we ban this person? Dude, shut up and play her clip. I want to ban you. What do you think, guys? 1 to ban, 2 to not, and we keep messing with them. Who are you, B. Loke? Who? Can you post your address in the live chat, will you? Yeah, will you put your full name, address, and social security number in the live chat, please? I'm saying please. You seem of the intelligence level that will do that. Dude, SF up and play her clip. What is your stance? 1? No. Don't ban yet, though. Don't ban yet. No, mods, don't do it yet. I want to see what the people say. When I say I'm a populist, this is what I mean. I did play the clip. Yeah, 1. Teresa says 1. Jedi says 1. The Great Spirit came down from the plains of the East and told me that B. Loke is a homosexual. I did play the clip. What is your gender identity? What are your pronouns? List your pronouns in the chat, B. Loke. I want to know. I want to know. Should I does whole show as a Native American? Yeah. I just felt like you're talking. Who cares about what you felt? Why are you in the business of telling people what to do? Now you're getting put on blast. Hard conservative. What's your take on abortion? I just felt like you were talking over it too much. Okay, but why is your take relevant on what you feel like? I just felt like, what's your gender? What are your pronouns? What's your address? Your pronouns are about to be were from this chat. Do you have a Ukrainian flag in the bio? There you go. Here you go. Here it is. The coyote went up the mountain and spoke to this. I can't do the breathy while doing that. The coyote went up the mountain and spoke to the spirit of the wind. He whispered to me, make podcast, make much wampum. Yeah, everyone stop what you're doing. Listen, I have all the time in the world. Everyone stop what you're doing. Listen, a moment of silence. Let's wait for B. Loke to weigh in again. Because I felt like I want to hear more from you. That's what I feel like. I feel like stopping, looking directly in the camera, and waiting. B. Loke. There we go. Okay, so he allowed me to allow him to retort. Wow, what's the point of this stream now? I'm literally saying that the point of this stream now, be woke. Be woke, yo. The point of the stream now is you hijacked it and we're waiting for your take. What's the point of, the point is me stopping, making it extremely awkward when we have there's many big political ideas that we can do here, but we're stopping, we're looking right at you, and we're waiting for your address, home phone number. We know you have a landline, Be Woke. Be Woke, you have a landline, okay? I want your pronouns. Tell me your Twitter handle, something, okay? We need personal information to make a decision about whether your pronouns are were, or not. You think it's Frank? Now he's bothered. I didn't come here for this, man. We have a winner. Be Woke is our winner of the day. He came here to watch me and Frank. All right, let's keep going. Love you, Be Woke. Yeah, why are you telling me to shut the F up? Is that you came here to watch us? Why are you saying first you come out swinging, telling a man what to do with his time, saying shut the F up? Like, what are you doing, Be Woke? What's your social security number? Who do you bank with? Who's your banker? All right, let's keep going. That was fun. Takes on the whole regime. I'm going to stop this. This clip every 1 second. Every second, I'm going to stop this clip.
Potential candidate and former Hawaii.
So she's on. Is she not in Congress anymore? She's weird, man. Tulsi Gabbard's weird, yo. I think she might be kind of a grifter. I don't know if I believe her stances and stuff. So you shouldn't support her, but I just think she's kind of just flapping in the breeze over here. Chargeable case against Hunter Biden.
Potential candidate and former Hawaii Congresswoman. Tulsi, what do you read into this leak now to the Washington Post about this massive evidence of tax and gun crimes?
Yeah, Jesse, first of all, I think that leaks coming from
she will be independent. Yeah, I know she's not becoming a Republican. Yeah.
Agencies are not good.
She's a snake.
We often see them happening in the lead up to elections, regardless of which party they're seeking to influence. Our law enforcement entities need to be apolitical so that we can have faith in the rule of law. But
what we're seeing here is pointing to something much bigger than
Pointing to something much bigger.
what
Singus bigger.
Hunter Biden ends up actually being charged with or indicted with or not. What this reminds me of, which is especially important as we head into this coming election in just a few weeks here, early voting has already kicked off in some states, is how our
Tulsi, do that thing where you touch my skin and you make me 100 years older. What is Rogue's power? What is it? She drains their life force like she wears gloves all the time? Is that what it is? She wears gloves all the time because if she touches your skin, she like drains your life force. Like do that thing I like. Yo Rogue, Tulsi Rogue. Do that thing I like where you touch my wrist and it's like, what is it? Let's see. What is the end of the Last Crusade chose poorly. Yeah. Here's what we're talking about here. And this is on YouTube, so it's okay. Yeah, do that thing I like. Yeah, do that thing I like, Tulsi Gabbard, where you know. Yeah, this is me. This is me after Rogue. Rogue grabs my wrist. Okay, all right. Anyway, only play a few seconds of it. Yeah, she like. Yeah, your power leaves you. your power leaves you, dude. Anyway, all my buddies are powers and memories. That's right. All my buddies. So here's some Biden clips over here. We're having a blast over here.
I went to a little school called Holy Rosie Grade School across from Claymont Fire Hall. And all my buddies, they either became a firefighter, a cop, or a priest. I wasn't qualified for any of them, so here I am. But, you know.
We're having fun. What'd he say? $1 billion, $1 trillion, $750 billion sidelines, man.
We passed look, what I ran on, I said we're going to deal with energy.
Right.
And the energy problem, we're going to deal with the whole notion of global warming.
I swear there's like 20 Bidens,
Past
bro.
300.
There's like 20 of them.
$168 billion worth of help, which, as the same bankers talk about, is going to bring $1 trillion, $700 billion off the sidelines. Investment.
Trillion,
we passed the worth of help, which, as the same bankers talk about, is going to bring $1 trillion, $700 billion off the sidelines. Investment.
Skillion. That many, by the way. Yeah, she is WF young star. So is Dan Crenshaw. 7 billion trillion. Let me start off with 2 words: made in America.
Let me start off with 2 words: made in America.
Made in America. And everyone.
Let me start off with 2 words: made in America.
Made in America. Homer, I need a cigarette. Homer, I haven't had my cigarettes in like 5 years. Okay. And everyone didn't realize they're making fun of Joe Brandon. Dude, I think there's like 25 Bidens. 2 words, let's go Brandon. 3 words, you're an idiot. It's just chum. It's just slop.
I got raised in the black church.
It's just mainstream slop. So he was raised in the black church, and he's politically Puerto Rican. That's what Biden is.
I got raised in the black church. He knows I'm not kidding.
Yeah, like I do think there's more than one Biden. All jokes aside, if you look at the earlobes, the jowls, the nose, and the cheeks from the 90s till today, not even the 90s, people are like, but old people change how your look changes over time as an old person. But we're talking about 10 years. I think the original Biden, like, you know, if you look at 2013, it's like a different guy.
My education for real in the black church. And that's not hyperbole, it's a fact.
It's either a skin mask or a double or something. I don't know.
I probably went to shul more than many of you.
Yeah, like, yeah, he's a black Puerto Rican Jew. He speaks differently, yeah. Like, this is his words, by the way. Like, he's black, he's Puerto Rican, he's Jewish. He's a black Puerto Rican Jewish devout Catholic.
Kidding, he can tell you I'm not. I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community at home, politically. I just have one thing to say. Hang on.
He's also messing with us.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of these slip-ups are just him messing with us.
There you go.
So cringe, man. What else? Joe Biden throws his thing down, flips it, and reverses it.
Right before he left, so he's being asked about.
I'm telling you, they're messing with us, man.
Taken by about OPEC.
They're messing with us. We're watching it again.
Smart. So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word. Oh, give me a break. Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing. Let's have this debate. And if you would have had, let me just... If you would have had the charge of what I was put through, don't ever class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word. Oh, give me a break. Because you know, don't ever use the word smart.
Look at the way Trump's lips look at this with his baby filter.
The lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word. Oh, give me a break. Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing. Let's have this debate. And if you would have had, let me just say,
I need some helium, actually. I need some helium, folks. Will you give me some? All right, almost done. Joe Biden to pardon. I looked into this, man. It was something like there's less than 100 people in jail for just weed on the federal level for just weed. It's about the elections, man. Joe Biden to pardon all prior federal offenses for marijuana. They plead a lot of this stuff down too, man. It's a scam. This drug, man, I changed my stance on this in a week. Yeah, I listened to a couple streams on this and looked at a bunch of articles, and man, I don't know if I back this, man. It's not the Joe Biden thing I don't back at all, but like, man, I'm really having my second thoughts about the whole weed thing, man. I used to be staunch. I mean, like a week and a half ago, I used to be like staunch, just just make it at least decriminalize. But I don't know, dude. This stuff is a scam. They're not going to stop at that. I mean, look, we're done with the class. I'm not going to get into this today. But I'll just read the news. Because, man, it's kind of a red pill, man. The marijuana thing is kind of a red pill. The numbers are ridiculous. Yeah. It's kind of a red pill. Yeah, Cali is mixing weed with human trafficking. Yeah, the weed thing is like, that's kind of my last libertarian, not last, but I used to be pretty staunch, weed legalization. Like, I'm telling you, like 2 weeks ago, dude. It's no one, right? I did look, Katie, I didn't want to say that but I had heard that it's no one. Because you do the true crime thing. So Katie Zed, whose channel you should subscribe to, by the way, because she makes the thumbnails for this program. So Katie's got her take up on the board right now, and I think Frank thinks that you should subscribe to her channel. No one is in prison for only personal use weed. I heard it was no one, and I didn't want to say that because I didn't just get it wrong. I heard it like I knew it was less than 100. So, anyway, announces pardons for marijuana possession. Symbolic, man. Oh, for prison. I see what you're saying. And that's a good point. There's no federal jails. And I know this from personal experience. I got sentenced to 9 days in federal like federally sentenced. This for January 6th. I got sentenced to 9 days in jail, and I got convicted of a misdemeanor for January 6th. They can't send you to federal jail because there are no federal jails. Okay? Personal weed possession, that's very interesting. Maybe you are logical. What Katie's saying, and what I agree with, is that it can't be any more than 0 because federal possession is a misdemeanor. It can't be any more than 0 because there are no federal jails. Crazy, man. I never even thought about that. And I never even thought about that, and this is going on in my own life, not with weed, just for January 6th. Wow. I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time. I got to do a deep dive on this one. I'm kind of talking out of my butt here. People are asking questions about it. I got to do a deep dive. Secret Service wrecked a car carrying Kamala Harris. That's DC.
Yeah, he was. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not going to field any more questions about it because it's an interesting topic. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Because I'm not well read enough about it. But send me stuff, yo. Send me stuff on Discord, on Twitter, whatever. We're skipping some of this stuff. Border crisis, obviously. You know, Eric Adams now he's like a fascist or whatever. He's a fascist and Coulter type, Eric Adams out of New York City. The Fifth Circuit Court rules that Obama's DACA program is unconstitutional. This will probably go to the Supreme Court. I don't want to do this one today. The very spiel, I know you got some Carrie Lake fans. I'm not the biggest fan. You should still vote for her because she's better than the alternative in Arizona. She vacuumed the President Trump or Donald Trump's rug beforehand, vacuuming the red carpet before meeting Donald Trump. And Jesse Kelly said, there's a special moment in everyone's life when they discover why God made them. That's hysterical. Hysterical. To close us out, we have Joe Biden singing us a song, actually. If Joe Biden were a song, whoever made this is good. It's good. It's good.
Going to my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. Last night on the television, I was on a telephone rapidly rising and with I don't know. COVID has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's lives reflected in the NHDI. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was inflicting a brigade of Caesar, ill-begotten gains.
This is my personal favorite. In a single word, the American can be defined in a single word. Like, we're listening to this.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was inflicting a brigade of Caesar, ill-begotten gains of Putin's autocracy. NATO's purpose is to defend against aggression. Let me make near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway, my mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. I don't think as the idea that political coverage. I want to thank and recognize Dr. John King song. King, good song. I can't get this to focus at all. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What? I can't remember. Lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are you? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. No idea. No idea.
That's banger. I love that. That is dope. The dope is dope. Yeah, we should legalize that dope right there. It's just too dope, dog. Man. So we're done, guys. Love you so much. Man, this Alex Jones thing that just dropped, he has to pay close to $1 billion. That's one of the most unjust things I've ever even heard of. But that's not the point of discussion today. Frank is in the chat. Frank, tell them what's up. Tell them to subscribe to my Odyssey. We grew by 0. Well, a couple people followed today. 191. I want 9 more today right now. There's 60 of you in the chat, and Frank is telling you that 9 of you, at least 9, should follow me on Odyssey. I stream 11 a.m. Eastern time every single weekday, doing a road stream tomorrow. So you won't see me on Odyssey tomorrow. I'll be on the road. Kind of a weird couple days because I'm going to play a gig out of town. I'm a professional musician, by the way. But also make sure that most of the people are on Let's be. I had a Biden moment. I can sum up the Let's Be Frank channel in one word. Follow Katie Zed. She makes the art for the show. And follow the Last American Pubcast. That's where the replays of this goes. So make sure you do as Big Daddy Frank orders. Click all the links over there in the show in the live chat right now. This replay will go over to the Last American Pubcast. We'll be back next Wednesday at 5 p.m. And remember, the day of the show is changing the week after that. So we'll be here next Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. But then the week after that, Mondays, 5 p.m. I play Frank's prayer stream, 9 a.m. every Monday, so I'll be giving you a little reminder. But I'll see you guys next week at the same time. I'm physical and mental true and under pressure. Love you guys so much. Correct Wing Weekly, episode number 12. Fantastic afternoon. God bless you. See you when I see you. Stephen Ignoramus is my name. Have a fantastic afternoon. Love you.